Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief program. Today, we're diving into a hot topic as MTR's new Escalator Etiquette campaign faces criticism for ignoring lift accessibility issues. A commuter's letter raises concerns about overcrowded lifts, urging the MTR to prioritize improving lift designs over enforcing escalator rules. In other news, a tragic car attack in Zhuhai claims 35 lives, while President-elect Trump is rallying billionaires for a new approach to diplomacy with China. As severe storms loom over Hong Kong, the city is bracing for Typhoon Toraji, alongside a flurry of economic shifts and international relations dynamics. Lastly, we spotlight Operation Santa Claus, a charitable initiative aiming to provide mental health support for the deaf community in Hong Kong. With plans for counseling and engaging activities, this project seeks to foster inclusivity and improve the well-being of deaf individuals. Please stay tuned for more detailed content. South China Morning Post highlights the absurdity of the MTR Corporation's Escalator Etiquette campaign, which aims to encourage commuters to stand on both sides of escalators. A concerned father, Tony Chung, expresses frustration over the impracticality of the initiative, especially for parents with strollers and elderly individuals. He points out that the MTR's lifts are often overcrowded and poorly located, making it difficult for those in need to access them. Instead of enforcing escalator rules, Chung suggests that MTR executives should focus on improving lift accessibility and educating the public to prioritize the use of lifts for those with special needs, rather than mobilizing staff to enforce standing etiquette. In a reflection on the MTR's safety campaign, Paul Surfety argues that the push for strict escalator rules stems from excessive risk aversion, which contradicts the innovative spirit that has historically characterized Hong Kong. He emphasizes that the number of escalator accidents is minuscule compared to the billions of trips taken annually, and suggests that older individuals actually benefit from walking on escalators. Surfety believes that instead of infantilizing the public, the MTR should trust commuters to make their own informed decisions about safety while navigating the city's transportation system. The South China Morning Post also reports on a tragic car attack in Zhuhai, China, which left 35 people dead and 43 injured. The suspect, a 62-year-old man, reportedly acted out of personal grievances related to a divorce dispute. Additionally, the article discusses the evolving diplomatic relations between China and India, noting recent troop disengagement agreements along their contested border. While both nations have been historical competitors, there is hope for increased cooperation in the future. Lastly, the charity Silence is expanding its services for the deaf and hard of hearing community in Hong Kong, aiming to address mental health needs and promote inclusivity through various supportive programs. South China Morning Post reports that Typhoon Toraji is approaching Hong Kong, prompting the Hong Kong Observatory to issue a number 3 warning signal at 2:40 p.m. This marks the first instance in recorded history where 4 tropical storms are swirling simultaneously in the western North Pacific and South China Sea during November. While Toraji has slightly weakened, its outer rain bands are beginning to impact the Guangdong coast. The observatory warns that strong winds will affect the Pearl River estuary, urging the public to avoid the shoreline. Additionally, classes in kindergartens and schools for children with disabilities will be suspended, while contingency measures will be in place for those already at school. In another report, the South China Morning Post highlights the decline of Hong Kong stocks, which have fallen for 4 consecutive days, putting the Hang Seng Index on track for its longest losing streak in 2 months. Investors are reacting to the implications of Donald Trump's re-election and the lack of substantial stimulus from China. The Hang Seng Index has dropped below the 20,000-point mark for the first time since late September, with major companies like Geely Auto and Alibaba experiencing losses. This bearish trend reflects a defensive strategy among investors, anticipating potential economic headwinds stemming from Trump's policies, which include higher tariffs and trade protectionism. HSBC's recent issuance of a 4.5 billion yuan panda bond is also reported by the South China Morning Post, showcasing the bank's commitment to supporting the internationalization of the Chinese currency. The bond, which was oversubscribed, aims to strengthen Hong Kong's position as the world's offshore yuan center. HSBC plans to utilize the proceeds to enhance its yuan-based services globally, reflecting the growing demand for yuan financing. The panda bond market is booming, with a record amount raised in 2024, indicating a robust interest from foreign companies. HSBC's co-CEO emphasizes the importance of expanding the offshore yuan pool in Hong Kong to stabilize interbank interest rates and meet increasing market demand. Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports that President-elect Donald Trump is assembling a hawkish team that could signal a confrontational approach towards China. With the anticipated appointments of Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State and Congressman Michael Waltz as National Security Advisor, both known for their strong stances against the Chinese Communist Party, the dynamics of U.S.-China relations may shift significantly. Rubio, a vocal critic of China's policies and a proponent of human rights, has been sanctioned by Beijing, which could complicate diplomatic efforts. Waltz, a military veteran, has also expressed concerns over China's actions and aims to reduce U.S. reliance on Chinese resources. The article highlights that while these appointments may solidify a tough stance on China, the unpredictability of Trump's leadership style raises questions about whether he will adhere to their advice or negotiate differently when engaging with Xi Jinping. South China Morning Post emphasizes Hong Kong's potential to become a global education hub, particularly in digital learning. Chief Executive John Lee Kok-yiu's policy address aims to promote the Study in Hong Kong initiative, targeting students from countries involved in China's Belt and Road Initiative. With several universities ranked among the world's top 100, Hong Kong possesses the necessary elements for success. However, strategic integration and a focus on recruiting diverse teaching talent are crucial. The article advocates for innovative curricula that resonate internationally and the use of technology to enhance learning experiences. It suggests that by leveraging its strengths in business and technology education, along with a robust digital marketing strategy, Hong Kong can attract students globally and solidify its position in the educational landscape. South China Morning Post further discusses Hong Kong's opportunity to strengthen ties with South American businesses, particularly through a free trade agreement with Peru. As Chief Executive John Lee Kok-yiu prepares for the APEC summit, analysts highlight Hong Kong's capability to provide sourcing, technology, and professional services to Peruvian companies seeking reliable Asian suppliers. With Peru's growing emphasis on digital transformation and the development of its artificial intelligence sector, Hong Kong's expertise in technology and logistics could play a significant role. The article notes that while the Chancay port, part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, may primarily facilitate raw material trade, Hong Kong can act as a connector for existing markets, enhancing trade relations between Peru and Asia. However, challenges such as the port's transport links and the need for improved logistics infrastructure remain critical for maximizing these opportunities. South China Morning Post reports that Hong Kong is gearing up to host its first test event for the National Games this month, with a series of additional events scheduled leading up to the main competition in November 2025. The city will showcase 8 sports, including golf and cycling, as part of the preparation process. Young Tak Kung, head of the National Games Coordination Office, emphasized the significance of this event, which is expected to attract up to 15,000 athletes and numerous officials and media from across the Greater Bay Area. With the city's prior experience limited to isolated events, the scale of the National Games presents unique challenges, particularly in recruiting sufficient personnel and ensuring accommodation meets specific criteria. In another intriguing story, the South China Morning Post discusses a controversial move by Argentine football club Deportivo Riestra, which fielded YouTuber Ivan Buhajaruk, known as Spreen, for a brief appearance in a match against Velez Sarsfield. This decision sparked outrage and led to an investigation by the Argentina FA amid concerns about illegal betting implications. The club has since apologized for the decision, which many players deemed disrespectful. Meanwhile, the article touches on the upcoming fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, highlighting the absurdity of the event, which is more entertainment than sport, and the mixed reactions from fans. Lastly, the South China Morning Post highlights the innovative approach of Next Bank, a digital bank backed by Ant Group, which is revolutionizing financial services for small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs. With a focus on digitization, Next Bank offers quick and easy financing solutions, enabling MSMEs to access financial services seamlessly through partnerships with various platforms. The bank's CEO, To Sumei, noted a significant surge in cross-border transactions and customer growth since its inception 2 years ago. Next Bank aims to enhance financial inclusion for underserved businesses, providing them with essential tools to thrive in a competitive market. The Globe and Mail reports on a troubling case in British Columbia where a teenager has been diagnosed with bird flu and is currently in critical condition. This case marks the first known instance of avian influenza in a human in Canada. The teenager, who has no known connections to poultry farms, first exhibited symptoms on November 2, but it wasn't until November 8 that they were admitted to the hospital in respiratory distress. Testing confirmed the presence of the H5 subtype of influenza A, which has been responsible for severe outbreaks in birds across North America. Public health officials are investigating the source of the virus but acknowledge that it may remain unknown, emphasizing the rarity of such events while also expressing concerns about the potential for the virus to mutate and become more transmissible among humans. The South China Morning Post highlights a recent survey revealing that around 90% of Hongkongers favor prioritizing local renewable energy development over importing electricity from mainland China. Conducted by Greenpeace Hong Kong and Baptist University, the survey reflects growing public support for solar energy and waste-to-energy initiatives, with many respondents expressing skepticism about reliance on external sources. Experts involved in the research advocate for maximizing local renewable energy production before considering imports, emphasizing the need for energy security in Hong Kong. The city aims to significantly increase its renewable energy share by 2035 as part of its climate action plan, which includes ambitious goals for carbon neutrality and reducing emissions. In a vibrant resurgence, the South China Morning Post explores the comeback of Y2K-inspired beaded jewelry, once a staple of childhood creativity and rave culture. Originally made from colorful plastic beads, these accessories are now being reimagined by designers who incorporate gemstones and luxurious materials, elevating the playful aesthetic to a more sophisticated realm. Designers like Carolina Bucci and Lauren Harwell Godfrey are blending nostalgia with modern craftsmanship, creating pieces that resonate with both the spirit of childhood and the elegance of fine jewelry. These contemporary interpretations allow wearers to mix and match colors and styles, capturing the essence of fun and individuality while appealing to a new generation enamored with the Y2K aesthetic. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6do brief via email.
Scrolling through the headlines, another crazy day. 6 degrees of stories, connecting in their way. From the weather to the sports, and everything we see. People making news on TV screens for free. 6-degree world, where the news comes in a whirl. Every story ties together like a ribbon in a twirl. Sit back and watch it all, big and small they call. From city lights to countryside, we're connected after all. A laugh, a cry, a sigh, news is flying high. From city lights to countryside, we're connected after all.